Just some guy talking here, and today I want to start by asking a question. Do you have a thing, or in my case, a list of things that aggravate you beyond reason? I'm not talking about your minor annoyances here. I'm talking about the things that make you go from 0 to 100 on the frustration scale immediately, or get on your last nerve in a flash, or ruin your day, your mood, etc., in an instant. I have those things, and today I'm going to share them with you. But rather than make this just a grievance session about things that annoy me, I'm going to try to make it helpful by sharing some of the things that I've learned to try to do when these annoying things happen to me. So I know you're dying to hear my list, so I'll get to it. This is in no particular order of importance and is very, very, very much a partial list. But I'm going to start with when I pull into a gas station and start to pump my gas, and that thing, that clicky thing that makes the pump keep running when you step away, keeps clicking off every time I try to walk away. I go ballistic. I will pull that handle out of my car, stick it back in the pump, and will drive to whatever gas station is not this one, because I won't give my money to a gas station that will allow this to happen. Or when I'm in the grocery store and I'm in the one checkout lane where the person is doing like a bunch of returns and getting price checks that make them have to go back to the end of the store and using a bunch of coupons and all that stuff, and all the while the other lanes are moving just perfectly and fine and smoothly. I get my blood pressure up, I start to lose my mind. Or when I'm on the freeway and I'm in that one lane that is stopped and the other lanes are just whizzing by so fast that I can't even pull out to like change lanes and start moving again, and I can't figure out why this one lane is not moving. I get so angry. Or when people use the word reactionary wrong, which most of you do. This is the definition of reactionary. The word that you think you're using is actually reactive. So please take a note and fix that so that you don't drive me crazy. So what do you do? What do you do when you have those things? Because I think you probably do. We all do have these things that aggravate us. First and foremost, and most importantly, you have to recognize that you're having a disproportionate response. What does that mean? It's pretty simple to figure out. If you're losing your mind because the gas pump won't work right, or because somebody in front of you is using coupons, you're having a disproportionate response. Or if you start calling people names and attacking them for just saying something that probably is just minorly annoying, you're having a disproportionate response. So, again, the most important thing is to recognize that you're having it. And that's actually really hard to do. It takes some practice because when you start to lose your mind is not right. So, it's harder to be self aware and realize that you're not having an appropriate response to this situation when you're losing your mind and not having an appropriate response to the situation. There's a hunk of logic, right? So, but it is something that you can learn to do. It doesn't always work, but it is important to try and be deliberate about that. And once you realize that you're having a disproportionate response to a situation, it is very, very important to take a second to stop that train. So do whatever it is that makes you calm down. All the things that people say, you count to 10, you take some deep breaths, you think about nice things. Whatever works for you, that's what you should do as soon as you realize that you're having a disproportionate response. For me, sometimes, especially when I'm dealing with people and they're saying things that are, snapping me into a bad mood immediately, I sometimes have to just walk away or shut the conversation down. I can't fix it on the fly. As soon as I realize that I am having a disproportionate response to the situation, I just have to leave it for a moment at least. So whatever it takes to do that, that's what you should do. Once you've gone through that process, you've calmed yourself down again. Hopefully, you start to have to, or you should start to try to figure out what just happened. Why did I have that response? In some instances, it's not the thing that just happened, but all the things that happened before, or all the other times that this thing has happened that you're reacting to. You need to figure that out, because if you are reacting to something in the moment based off of things that have happened in the past, the odds are you're not going to handle that very well. So you need to figure that out. Sometimes, though, in the case of some of the things that I listed out, it just is that thing that makes you mad. So how do I deal with that, right? Again, I recognize that this is happening. I figure out how to calm myself down again. And then, and this is gonna sound silly, but it actually works for me. I make it a joke for myself. I try to make it funny that I'm having a stupid response to a silly thing. I'm doing that thing again where I get so mad at the gas station that I just leave, even if I don't have any gas and I might run out of gas to the next place. I'll leave. Like, how stupid is that? Literally, like, if I think it's about that with a clearer mind, it's actually funny because it's ridiculous. And it's very important to incorporate humor for me into how I respond to things or into analyzing my response to things. If I can find a way to see how ridiculous I look or probably look to other people by losing my mind about this stupid thing, it actually helps me to be less aggravated. So, all right, those are just some silly things. Maybe this was just an excuse for me to talk about things that annoy me. But if you can incorporate some things, some discipline into diffusing your reactions to these things rather than going nuclear, that's nuclear, not nuclear, then your life will be better, right? Or at least you can mitigate some of the consequences of your actions. Because when it happens to me, the potential for a chain reaction is really, really great. I get in a really horrible mood. I treat people around me horribly. They get in a horrible mood. They treat people around them horribly. And we just pass this along. And if you can break the chain at the beginning with your link, it's going to make everything and the world better. Somebody accused me of wanting everybody to pull together. And maybe this is one of those cases where I do think, like, if we could all just do this one thing, we could make the world a better place. But if nothing else, it can make the time that you spend being aggravated about stupid things be a little less uh, time sucking in your life. You can at least diminish or minimize the damage that it does in your day to day existence for you and probably for other people. All right, I'm just some guy talking, and I will talk to you next time. Just some guy talking here, and I want to start today by asking a question. Do you have a thing, or in my case, a list of things that aggravate you beyond reason? So these are the things that take you from, ah, so aggravating when you have an itch on your nose. Just some guy talking here, and today I want to start by asking a question. Do you have a thing, or in my case, a list of things that aggravate you beyond reason? I'm talking about the things that can take you from 0 to 100 on the frustration.